Hello and welcome back to Swanage Model Railway. In this episode we will be looking at the traffic lights and how I've constructed them. So as you can see, they're currently operating, they're currently on green. They're on an automatic circuit which changes them after certain timer periods. Just like that, now that they're on yellow. You probably can also hear the relays clicking underneath the layout. Still probably got to tone them down a little bit by adding another resistor, just to help with some of the light bleed that I've got around them. So yeah, this video is going to follow the build and construction of these signals, or traffic lights I should say. So enjoy the video, feel free to subscribe to follow the progress of the layout, and let's get to it. Right, so this is the first step really. I mean, it's already pre-drilled hole wise. So if I just take that device, we can see that I've already got my hole straight through it, roughly marked where the bender needs to be. This is still early stages for the other one as well. So this is the point where we put that bend in. Doing that, the easiest way is to heat it up a little bit. As I want that bit to stay straight, I'm going to clamp that end, as I want it to start from there. Got my little blowtorch, and I got my pliers. Right, and that's now a bend similar to the other one. Now I've just got to let that cool off for a while, because I just really heated that up and I don't really want to touch that as of the moment. So now that that's all bent, just checking my alignment, which seems to be a little off. That's better. So yeah, just gonna let that cool off. And then go from there. Right, so that's now been sanded down, taken away all the marks from the heat. Got a bit of tape on it, so it's now ready for primer up to street level. So this is all that's going to be above street level, this is going to be below. I've also solder capped the top. Don't know how well that can be picked up. So the top of the tube's now been capped off for painting. Now I've just got to shake up my grey primer and go outside and spray this. Okay, back onto the project again. Worked on a few other bits around this, so now we're getting back on task and finishing the traffic lights off for once. So in front of me we've got the second shaft that I bent up. Got the holes, I've capped the top of it with solder and I've now had it primed. This is where I left off. I've just cut the end off the tube. Now we just need to get some of our new traffic lights. So I'll bring in the other one that goes on the other side of the road for the next stage example. So we can see here I've got two of the heads on. I haven't fixed them on yet, they're still loose. But this is at the next stage where it's getting tested and getting its cables binded together. So now we'll get this one out of the way. And we'll bring this box in. This box has the traffic lights that I bought to do this job. But then I quite quickly into it realised they weren't going to do the job that I needed. But they have the head on them, which I like. So if I just grab two of these out. But as we can see, that's the same head that I've got on the other one. But this is only a single one. I thought I could get another one, put it on the other side, and that'd be my traffic lights done. Wasn't the case, so I'm using the good parts of this on the poles that I'm making. And before I attach them, I will be testing them. So I'll quickly test them and then you can watch as I break them apart. Okay. After a little bit of prep work, I've split the cable, so we're going to test this one in my hand. I got a little 9-volt battery up here with a resistor on it, so let's start with green. Yep, that one's all good. Now moving on to the other ones. Okay, with that all good, this one will be prepped for the next stage once I've tested this one. Alright, now that I've got these out, I'll do another test of them, make sure I got them out intact. First test is to make sure that they all worked. This test is to make sure, like this one that got slightly stuck, because it's got a little bit of glue on the top bit of wires, that as I was pulling it out I did not rip them. So kind of an important part to test, that way I know I've still got 3 functional lights here. This bit will not be recorded. Okay, so now that those are tested and fully working, let's just get that battery out of the way. I have to get these cables into that one tube. This is the less easy part of the task, because I've also got that bend to negotiate. So let's just... Right, with that now done, I now have 2 traffic lights ready to be finally assembled. So using some of my all-purpose glue, I will get these all glued together. Okay, so in this bit of the video I'm attaching these very thin cables to these copper strips. So I've got one here that's already set up for my reds, linking into the red relay. So single cable comes in, hooks onto the end, and then all four of the smaller strands go onto the end of this. This one is for the yellows and this one is for the greens. So all the yellow cables will be attaching to this middle one, and all of my blue cables, which are my green lights, will be attaching to the top one and then linking into the corresponding relays on here. Then I've got all of these black cables. They will connect to all of those diode or resistors on that copper strip up there. Basically it's one resistor to a black cable, and considering I've got 6 of them, 12 of them, that's going to take me a while to do. Currently I'm working on the positive lines, which are the coloured ones. So let's get the yellows and greens hooked up, then we can move on to the blacks. Okay, so with that all wired up, next thing is to adjust these dials. So we've got green timer, amber timer, amber and red timer for when it's coming back from red, and the red timer. Also got a little skip button here and an indicator of what light is showing at the time. Now that all of those are wired in, they should all come on at the same time now, or in the proper sequences when this thing is showing. I'll show the signals after I go through this and make sure it's as I want it. So we'll put the screwdriver down and get this cable hooked onto my power supply. There we go. Let's just turn the light off so we can actually see what the indicator's doing. Okay, so we're currently set to green. We'll let it go for a loop. So for starters, let's extend. Okay, so we were straight from red to green that time, so we need to boost this one, which is the amber and red setting. Let's skip. Okay, green's on for longer this time. And that I think I'm happy with. Now I am temporarily powering this using this cable here and one that's connected to the black where the resistors are. So that's temporarily supplying this thing with power. It's also powering all my street lights at the same time, as this is on the same circuit. Right, let's get the layout lowered and have a look at that from the surface. Right, so here we go. This is how the signals look above the layout. I may tie another resistor into the lot just to bring it down a little bit. But they don't look too bad. There's a little bit of light bleed around the edges, so that's what's convincing me to lower the voltage to the lights a little bit. Other than that, they are working beautifully. Let's get a little close up. So they're all working. The clicking of the relays is a bit louder than I was expecting. But was expected still. Nice lengthy amount of time as green, followed by a shorter amount of time as red. So it works out the way I want it to. Also, depending on the order I get the videos out, we now have also got street lighting combined in with this. So there's a few lights along the streets. If we just swing the camera that way. Even got a few lights on the building and inside the building. Right, that's going to be it for this video. The whole point was the build of the traffic lights, and now that that's completed and done, thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and see us in the next one.